And so, like one way in which just in conversations with people, I like to think about this issue is to make a distinction between what's happy, healthy, and holy, because you'll sometimes hear people say like, we're all just trying to be happy, healthy, and holy. And I think it's important to distinguish how, and in each case, how, because we mean a variety of things by happy. And some people will mean by that, having a kind of preponderance of positive emotions. I like to describe happiness in terms of fit. So I think that you can be happy in the sense of have a kind of confidence that you are where you ought to be, even while experiencing a good bit of negative emotions, because it's a matter of, I have a meaning, I have a purpose, I'm in pursuit of that. And while I might encounter obstacles to it, and while those obstacles might make me sad or angry or otherwise, right, I can still be about my business. When it comes to healthy, then, I think we're talking especially about the physical, the emotional, the psychological, and that means addressing kind of maladaptive behaviors or maladaptive thoughts that will keep us from living our full, physical, emotional, and psychological lives. So here, I think that mental health is at play, and very importantly so. I don't think that it's not at play when we talk about happy, because I think it could be of service in that type of thing. But then when we get to holy, right, we're really talking about the spiritual dimension, as it draws upon the physical, the emotional, the psychological, but as it really comes to its fullness in the spiritual dimension, which is that place in which we believe, we hope, we love, we cling to God because he reveals himself and because he begets his life in us and then capacitates us to respond. And ultimately, like you said at the beginning, regardless of how things are going kind of happiness and healthiness wise, we're always able to choose for a holiness which God gives. And I think that pursuit of holiness will often involve it'll often involve addressing obstacles of a physical, emotional, or psychological sort. But we shouldn't equate it with the addressing of obstacles of a physical or an emotional or psychological sort, because then we can start to tell ourselves the lie that I'll be holy just as soon as I fix this thing or that thing or the other thing. There's no just as soon as with holiness. It's always possible to choose for God, to persevere in that choice for God, and to ask God for the grace that we need in order to continue further up and further in. So that's just, I find that a helpful way.
Yeah, and what you said earlier too, with respect to the fact that God doesn't put things in our lives that we can't handle. He doesn't put trials, difficulties, crosses in our lives for which he does not supply the grace to not just to endure as if it's like, we just have to get through like this painful, like whatever procedure at the dentist and it'll be over. But through the difficulties, whatever they might be, in whatever shape, duration, intensity, whatever they might be, the Lord gives the grace, not just to endure, but to be made holy in them. Not once they pass, not once they're solved, not once they're fixed, but to be made holy in them. And that's the case too that's the case with physical suffering, physical illness, whatever it might be. But that's also the case with mental suffering and mental illness and the mental crosses. And that as you were saying, Father, it's not let me fix this and then let me choose God. It's let me choose God and let him fix me or work on me. And what that means is make me holy, make me a saint, make me into the image of the man or woman that he has created me to be, in and through the particulars of my life, the particulars of my sufferings, the particulars of my joys, whatever they might be. I think that's super important. And as I've already said, and as you've said, when we begin to lose sight of that, of what the purpose and the goal and what we're after, when we begin to lose sight, we just become even more, I think, lost, or it becomes more convoluted, or, the purpose of like, why even bother working on this or that in my life begins to make a lot less sense if it's not, for that last bit, that pursuit of holiness.
Father Jacob-Bertrand.
Father Gregory. A
Dominican, a Franciscan, and a Jesuit walk into a bar. One of them asks the audience to subscribe. That's not a joke. Any ways you can improve upon it?
Just don't tell jokes.
Right. This is not a joke. Please subscribe. Cheers.